The Many Characters of Doctor Who. Entry 13. The Three Who Rule. The Three Who Rule were three vampire-turned-humans who appeared in the 1980 Fourth Doctor story, The State of Decay, and were encountered by him whilst he was travelling with his companions Romana, Adric and K9. Upon being mutated by the King Vampire, they assumed the names Orcon, Camilla and Zargo, but their original names were Science Officer Anthony O'Connor, portrayed by Emrys James, Navigation Officer Lauren Macmillan, portrayed by Rachel Davis, and Captain Miles Sharkey, portrayed by William Lindsay. Originally from Earth, these humans were given eternal, unageing life, but became unable to function in daylight, as well as developing fangs and pale skin. They survived, like most vampires, by drinking the blood of the living, but unlike the King Vampire, refused to also consume the blood of the dead, finding even the blood of the very recently deceased to be somehow tainted. Anthony, Lauren and Miles were originally stationed on the ship Hydrax when it was pulled into E-space by the King Vampire, also known as the Great One. Once they had crashed on the planet and become vampires, their ship was turned into a castle and they assumed royal roles with Zargo as king, Camilla as queen and Orcon as royal counsellor. They then ruled over the local population, forcing them to work from the day they started walking to the day they died. They also hired some of their subjects as royal guards, who would then select the healthiest of the young population to be drained of blood, which they and the King Vampire would then feast upon. This cycle occurred for 1,000 years, until the arrival of the Doctor, Romana, Adric and K9. It was during this period that they attempted to sacrifice Romana, but was stopped by the Doctor, who promptly killed the King Vampire with a steel bolt from the remains of the Hydrax. At the instant of the King Vampire's death, the three who ruled became their true ages and crumbled to dust. According to the novel Blood Harvest, clones of the three who rule do exist, although the canonicity of this event is debatable. Orcon notably had special powers the other two may not have possessed, such as the ability to control bats, which is possibly linked with the telepathy they all shared. Orcon was also shown shortly before his death to be quite eager to recruit Adric as a vampire before the Doctor put a stop to his plans. Amongst other actors considered for Orcon were Colin Baker, Michael Jaston and Ian McKellen. The three who rule were notable for the poor treatment of their subjects and forbade them from any form of education for fear that this may lead to rebellion. As a result, concepts such as reading, knowledge and science were completely forbidden throughout their domain. It was because of his encounter with the vampires on this occasion that shortly afterwards Adric would read the novel Dracula by Bram Stoker.